Welcome back. We're here to preview Saturday afternoon's Premier League game between West Brom and Southampton. We'll start with the Saints. They went down 2-0 at home to Liverpool on Sunday.
Yeah, that'd have been a big blow, wouldn't it? Dropping out the top four against a Liverpool side, who was obviously in good form. But I think Liverpool only had 2 shots on target, their 2 goals. So Southampton had it reminded me a lot of the Swansea game when they lost at home. Southampton had a lot of the ball, a lot of half chances, but just couldn't really make the breakthrough. You know, people like Peller's obviously out of form, and I think Manny came on, didn't he, afterwards? But there was a thing about him getting left out because he turned up late for the pre-match meal and stuff. But they played well. They played really well in that game. Probably deserved the point or a win. Certainly not to lose the game. But Liverpool just had, I think, a bit more sort of cuteness and guile in the final third, and that ultimately brought them all 3 points. Like I say, dropped out of the top four, sitting in fifth. I never thought I don't think they're going to finish the top four. I never really have. But I think, if they finish in the top six, it's been a great season. But I think they will just fall short of the Champions League places.
Yeah, you mentioned the top four race there. It is so close at the moment, isn't it? Obviously, Arsenal, they went up to third, and now you've got United in fourth, Southampton, Liverpool, and then Spurs. I think it's 5 points separate those sides there. So it's so close in there. And Southampton, wherever they come, if they do just miss, if all of those teams do just go above them, it's still a great season on the whole. So you look at the race in general, but like you mentioned, some of their players just going off the board. But obviously, it's been a long time now since Pella sort of had a little scoring run, considering what he was doing at the start of the season. But I think Southampton, obviously, they can look at the table and think, we've still got a really good chance of finishing in the top four, even though. They're sort of you look at all the sides in there, Arsenal, they're playing better, Liverpool playing better, Spurs playing better. I think, Southampton can look at it and maybe think, sort of onlookers might think Southampton, they're the side that's going to finish bottom out of those 5 sides. But there's no reason why Southampton, they've had some really impressive results this season. And obviously, the Liverpool one, that was disappointing. The first goal they conceded was just one of the goals of the season.
Should have had a penalty as well.
They should have, obviously, yeah. And that starts the game. I think the first one was quite soft, but the second one, the Joe Allen challenge, that was a clear penalty. So they were hard done by there, and then they conceded, arguably the goal of the season from Coutinho. So a bit unlucky there. But the top 4 race is still really on. But I think you should be maybe a little bit worried for Southampton because you look at Liverpool, Spurs, they are playing a lot better.
Yeah, Southampton away form has been good this season, though, and you always think they're going to be strong at home, and their challenge would be sort of built on good home form. They've been good at home, but away from home won 7 times. So that's impressive by anyone's book. That's obviously a lot better than the likes of United, who are challenging with the top 4, obviously above them in the table. But I think getting Schneiderlin and Wanyama back is obviously important as well, isn't it? And they conceded 9 away goals this season, which is incredible. You look at, I think Chelsea are the second best, was it, with 13. So you look at their defensive record's been very good. I think Adivara might be back for this game, wouldn't it? So he was obviously massively important to them. It'd be interesting to see whether they can sign him into the season because he didn't get a look in last season at Atletico, but he's a great defender. And I think, like I say, Southampton they can still harbour hope to finish in the top 4.
Definitely. So you talk about Southampton's strong defensive record here, and now they come up against a Tony Pulis team. It should probably be quite a good defensive battle, maybe not 2 goals. But West Brom, they come into it, they got a decent point, at Sunderland last time. I think they would have gone there and maybe thought about maybe nicking something Sunderland. They haven't won many games this season. It wasn't too surprising to see a 0-0 draw there, to be honest. West Brom, under Pulis, they're going to go there and sort of try and shut up shop, and a 0-0 draw wasn't that surprising. But I think it wasn't the worst result. It leaves them 14th in the table, which obviously looks okay, 5 points above the bottom 3 because they've been, because of their good form under Pulis. But still a long way to go. You look at the sides below them, and you probably think there's 3 worse teams than West Brom there. So you still think they'll be all right, especially with Pulis as their manager. But a 0-0 draw at Sunderland was okay.
So talking about Pulis, and obviously he left Palace in the circumstances he did, was at Stoke, and he's just such a good manager, isn't he? He goes in the organiser. They've lost once in 8 games since he's been there, and it's just so impressive. And he's got people like Berahino up front, and Brown Adai formed a nice little partnership up there now, haven't they? Brown Adai, obviously, he was close to leaving the club in January, going off, and that never happened. Berahino, let's say, had confidence issues and whether he's going to go to a bigger club, and I think he's quite ready for that. But they've formed a nice little partnership up front now, and I think he's got his good players playing well, isn't he, in there? And they were a threat now. Earlier in the season, you think they had to be solid at the back and maybe nick a goal, but they're a threat now, and Pulis just deserves so much credit for what he's done there. It's incredible.
Definitely. You talk about Adai and Berahino, that's probably their starting 2 up front now, especially because Adai is in the goals now, but it looks like Anichebe could be fit for this one as well. And he's an interesting weapon to have off the bench, isn't he? Just so big, so powerful. Yeah. And when you get sort of around to the 70th minute of a game and you can send him on against tired defenders, he can just rough them up and just cause so many problems. So I think that sort of 3-man front line is really dangerous for other teams, and they should be able to score goals with those 3. So they'll want to do so here. What's your score prediction?
I actually really fancy West Brom, to be honest. Southampton, a bit of a soft underbelly in certain games. It's obviously against Liverpool, into that game, really bad confidence because of that, because of losing playing well. So I actually really fancy West Brom. I think we talk about their 2 up front. Berahino, Brown Adai, obviously going to be in good form, and I fancy him to win this 2-1.
2-1. I'm actually going to back a draw. I think I was talking earlier about the sort of defensive nature. You talked about Southampton only conceding 9 goals on the road, and there's a Pulis factor. Obviously, they're good defensively, so I'm going to back a draw here. I'm going to go 1 also. But 1 West Brom win and a draw. Thanks for watching.